It is happening again, guys. Manchester United players are forming cohorts to gang up against the manager and his system, according to reports. Now, if these are true, guys, it can't be accepted. This is unacceptable. Like, share, and subscribe, and let's get proper into this hard talk today about Man United, because a report has come in from a decent source, by the way, saying that sections of Man United players have been meeting in groups to discuss Ruben Amorim's system, and they feel Amorim should be tweaking the system to help them perhaps win games. Now, that isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for players to feel that Amorim could tweak a thing or two about his system if they are going to perform and get results. That's not the point. For me, the issue is if they are doing this in cohorts, then there is a big problem, because then we are letting back player power at Manchester United. And this is the exact issue that we suffered before with the past managers. Eric Ten Hag, to be precise, managers like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, managers like Jose Mourinho were all failed because of player power. And there are certain players we believe are out of the team because of how much they are influencing the rest of the guys not to perform to their best, because they are going into bickering and murmuring about the manager and their systems. Now, listen, United has got to address this. If things are leaking the way they are, and it is a section of players who are meeting and ganging up to discuss Amorim, then there is an issue. Why aren't there open channels of communication where players will openly give their feedback to the manager in meetings? They certainly have team meetings. They meet on the training ground, if, at the very least. There should be avenues where players should openly come out and suggest, because Man United is a situation where it's not about Amorim and what he wants to do. It's not about any individual. United has got to be dug out of the ditch, but as a collective, collectively dug out of the ditch, rather. Now, if that is so, there's got to be a certain level of transparency between the coaching team, between Ineos and the players. So the players cannot be feeling like the system perhaps is a bit hard on them, but they can't air out their views in a transparent way, but they have to go into meetings and cohorts to talk about it. That's wrong. What that does is it causes divisions within the team, and the coach loses control of the dressing room. That's how the problems begin. Now, if this is so, if this player power is beginning to raise again, it has got to be tamed immediately. It's not about the issue. The issue could be there. Perhaps I spoke about how Amorim tweaked his system in the game against Leicester City, and we won the game. So the issue is not that. It's not that he can't tweak it. They shouldn't talk about him tweaking the system. It's okay. But how do they talk about it? Because you cannot be fighting in cohorts. You cannot be fighting out of a problem in cohorts. You should do it as a team. So if players do not have an open avenue to air out their opinions, really, then there is a problem with Amorim's management. Then perhaps Amorim is being too military, because there's, again, I keep saying it, there is a thin line between being a disciplinarian and being ruthless. Now, if players cannot feel okay to come and open their and air their opinions about the team, about your systems to you, and they have to go into cohorts and bickering, then perhaps you've not created the right avenue for them to express themselves. That is a problem. That is a problem. So for me, I first of all don't want to hear this whole player power talk. I think we have come from way too far to get to this point that we can't afford to go back into the same scenarios that got us where we are. Players feeling bigger than everyone and larger than life and larger than it can't take us anywhere. So if those reports are true, trust me, we've got to arrest them instantly. And you see, things leak from this Man United from somewhere. There's no smoke without fire, especially when it comes to Man United. There's always someone who is leaking stuff. When on earth are we going to solve this problem for good? This leaking problem and, from Man United has got to be dealt with and stopped once and for all. It has got to come to an end. It is not taking the club anywhere, because the more you're leaking stuff, it is a clear indication that you're not a team. And if you're not a team, you cannot achieve anything. You cannot achieve anything if you're not a team. And now more than ever, the fact that Man United is trying to fight a way out of a big problem, we have got to be together. The togetherness has got to be double what it has ever been. Everyone has got to fight for each other. Everyone has got to support each other. The players have got to support each other. They have got to support the manager. The manager has got to support the players. Ineos has got to support the players and the manager. The fans have got to back everyone. It has got to be a collective. This cannot be done in silos. Now, if players are meeting in cohorts, discussing Amorim system, the way some fans feel it perhaps doesn't work, listen, the issue is not whether it works or not. The issue is how do you state it? How do you communicate? We cannot be going into divisions in the dressing room because they will only make us worse. The reality is Ineos are not going to fire Ruben Amorim tomorrow. They won't. These players better know well that they might as well just want to be so open and transparent with him if they're going to try and become legends of the club by being the guys who have helped the team get out of the ditch where themselves dug it down into. So the player problem has got to be solved. For me, there is no debates about that. So let's wait and see. I saw somewhere, talks of United being up for sale again and stuff. Of course, I'll talk more about that, but not in this video, perhaps. But also, Mission 150. Mission 150. I'll talk about it perhaps in a separate video because Ineos have got a massive plan. Sir Dave Brailsford came up with a very interesting, what should I call it? Strategy to achieve what he called Mission 150. And that will be an interesting one. I think that video is one you should look out for. Subscribe, turn on the notification so that when it comes, you are notified that it is there and so that you don't miss it, because I'm still doing a lot of research about it and what is inside this document that Sir Dave Brailsford did come up with. He does that for fun. That's what he's known for anyway. Goes into a sports team and the Ineos sports group and stuff, and comes up with a strategy and how you're going to get to it, and give the group a clear direction and mission of what they want to do and how they will do it and what it will take and stuff and all that. It's interesting. It's a bit educative if you ask me, and it's a smart thing. I'll talk about it in depth, but for now, if you're going to achieve Mission 150, we can't be having player power again. We can't be having divisions in the dressing room again. We can't be having players feeling they're bigger than the manager or thinking they can coach better than the manager. All we can have is a collective, a unified, way of doing things, discuss things together and do them together. If they fail, come back, review, assess them and improve together. If it doesn't work, agree and change. So for me, that is what I want to see with Man United going forward. Subscribe to the United of Sport, like, share, and let's properly grow into what we are supposed to become. And let's not lose hope, guys. Man United will be back. It's always difficult, guys. If you've been suffering for a long time, it's always difficult for you to get back to full fitness. It is difficult. It takes time. It's a process. And there is a point in the comeback where you've got to suffer. Sometimes you've got to suffer for you to enjoy later. So we are suffering, but it will come to an end, guys. Be positive about the whole Man United project. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Subscribe and let me catch you later.